I went home to visit for a class reunion that wasn't mine and got to see a bunch of people that I hadn't seen in forever. And of course, that was really nice because they were like, "You look just like you did in high school." And I was like,
If you haven't listened to part one of Renee's story yet, go back and listen to it. It's pretty interesting. She talks about how and why she lost 200 pounds, about quitting drinking, and about how all of that together totally transformed her life. Here's part two.
I'm living a whole completely different life than I thought I would be. 10 years ago, I would have been like, no way I'm going to be doing this, that, and the other. I went parasailing, never done that. I did some jet skis and stuff. What happened during COVID while I was focusing on myself is I also focused a lot on what do I want to do? Who do I want to be? What do I want to do for my community? Because as a military spouse and a mom of six, Renee did not have a career. We decided long ago when we first started having a big family that I would stay home with the kids. I worked part-time when we needed the money, which there were times with six kids that we needed the money. So I've done a lot of odd jobs and I've worked in a lot of, weird environments, but I've also done a lot of volunteer work. So now that the kids are like, growing up and stuff, I was kind of like, how do I want to contribute? What do I want to do? And I decided that I really enjoyed Rotary and that I'd already been the president of my Rotary Club. Right before my surgery or right around the time I had my surgery, I was finishing up my year as the president of my club. And so I wanted to kind of be in that chain of command kind of thing. So I just started learning more and taking part in more things that were a bigger picture, just not my club. And before long, I was asked to serve or to be interviewed to serve as the governor for our district for the Virginia for Rotary. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is so great. But it was my personal journey that it allowed me to get to the place where I felt like I could, give back, that I had the bandwidth and then I had the drive, the desire, the ability. And so I got put in the line for district governor. And I kind of felt like this was my coming out. Like, here I am, I'm back and I'm ready to serve my community. And it was really kind of a beautiful thing. But what I found out was when we found out who was going to be the president of Rotary International, the year that I was going to be district governor, which is happening right now. I'm currently in my third month of being the governor of our district. But a couple of years ago, he got introduced to us. We start this process early. You have a lot of training and a lot of on-the-job training and a lot of stuff that we have to do before we can do this position. And in January of this year, every district governor in the whole world goes to one place and takes a final in-person training session together. And our president is there and he announces, here's going to be kind of our mission this year and here's going to be our theme. They have a new theme every year to kind of just get everybody regenerated around some kind of like an idea to get the clubs excited. And he announced that the new theme for the Rotary year starting July 1st, when we took over as district governors, was going to be create hope in the world. And we just thought it can't get any better. Like we're all, ready to do it. And that's such a great thing. We need hope more than ever post COVID. And I was like, that's like right up my alley. Like that's kind of why I'm doing that's why I'm here. And then he told a story when he was getting ready to talk about kind of our mission. And he was talking about mental health and how important mental health is. And the whole time I'm like gasping every time he's talking about, you've got to, reduce the stigma around mental health, which I experienced because when I thought I need mental health help, I was afraid to tell anyone. So that's why I called my cousin. I'm like, what do I need to do? I need help, give me advice because I didn't really feel comfortable talking about it. And he started talking about mental health and I'm internally squealing with excitement because I'm like, this is amazing. And so then he tells a story about a young man that he knew his whole life that grew up in the same town that he did, that had a family and did this and did that. And they were both in Rotary together and all of these things. And then later in his life, this man took his life. And everyone in the room is like, oh, he's really, he's not just talking like mental health. Let's everyone, like talk about, getting better. It's just, he's talking about serious. And then a picture flashes up with the name and it was his brother who had taken his life in 2014, I think it was. And he said, we need to reduce the stigma surrounding speaking about mental health and seeking mental health. And you could have heard a pin drop in that room. And I thought to myself, wow, like everything that I've done to this point in my own personal life, and then this mission to do what I wanted to do with Rotary is aligning like magic over this apex of this year. This is what Rotary is going to be about. And I was just like, the universe put me here. The universe had me go through everything I went through so that I could be right here at this moment in this part of my recovery and be able to tell other people it's okay to talk about mental health. There are parts of our world where if you have a mental health issue, you will be institutionalized. You'll be put in chains in the basement somewhere until you die. It's just that bad. And then we have, in societies like ours where there's shame and everyone makes fun of people. And there are even terms that have to do with people who have mental health issues, and they throw it around to make fun of people. We've got to stop that kind of stuff, or we're not going to be able to get better as humanity altogether. But also mental health goes to peace, world peace. I mean, there's just so many connectors that put mental health. I mean, there's homelessness. The reason people are homeless is not because they don't have a house. It's a lot of times it's mental health issues, or those issues stem from other things. It's at the basis of our society, one of the biggest issues that we have and that we haven't dealt with. But I'm starting to see it more and more. Rotary's part of it, but I'm starting to see it everywhere. Post-COVID, the world woke up and said, holy crap, we're messed up. We had a few years to sit with ourselves, and we realized we're really not healthy, mentally or physically sometimes. And so seeing that, recognizing that, acknowledging that, what I've learned personally, that's the first step. And so if our world can recognize that this is something that is affecting all of us, and this goes to everything, this goes to equality, diversity, all of those things have to do with mental health issues as well. It's all connected. So I just feel honored to be where I am right now and having experienced what I've experienced to be able to help other people. So in my role as district governor, I get to visit every single one of our 59 clubs during the course of my year. And I start my visits in October, and I should end them sometime in March. But I am taking the mental health message to every single club. We're going to talk about, what we need to be doing in our communities, serving our communities, and mental health. That mental health piece always goes along with everything. That it can tie into every single service project. It can tie into everything. If you improve environmental issues, you're improving mental health. I mean, they're all tied in. And so women and infant health, child literacy, all of these are things that Rotary deals with. They all connect back to mental health. So for me, it's just kind of like everything came together. And when I was in Los Angeles, it was like the whole universe just went, oh, all the pieces of the puzzle just fit. And it was really, really a cool moment.
Part 3 of Renée's story is coming next week. Feel free to subscribe, turn on the notifications if you'd like to be notified, and please hit the like button if you liked. Thank you, and see you next time.